Can we save the air from global warming, climate change, sea erosion, waste pollution, and other environmental problems? Join LNTV for answers to these questions on the program Focus on the Environment with Rachel Colley.
Hello and welcome to Focus on the Environment, a program that discusses issues affecting our environment. One of the major issues affecting our environment is waste, and today we will be looking at how we can manage it. We have as guests on this discussion the Chief Executive Officer of Green Cities Incorporated, Mr. James Mulba. Being my guest, I am Rachel Colley.
Can we save the air from global warming, climate change, sea erosion, waste pollution, and other environmental problems? Join LNTV for answers to these questions on the program Focus on the Environment with Rachel Colley.
Welcome back. According to Wikipedia, waste are unwanted or unusable materials. Waste is any substance which is thrown away after primary use or is worthless, defective, and of no use. Today's story now. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has placed a hot order on the destruction and degradation of the mangrove wetlands at the Police Academy in Pennsville and cited those involved to a conference. Violators have been illegally backfilling and dumping waste in the wetlands, among others. According to a release from the EPA, Macerado wetlands are designated areas as Ramsar sites under the Ramsar Convention. Therefore, the international and national laws of Liberia prohibit anyone from encroaching upon wetlands and destruction of mangroves and other protected species for the conservation of biological diversity. The Sabre Ed Christian School of Excellence has introduced an environmental club to help students create interest in environmental sciences. As a way of improving the students' desire on how to manage waste, the school visited the Green Cities Incorporated recycling facility in Monroeville. Mrs. Suni Kanga Williams is the administrator of Sabre Ed School of Excellence. She explains more of the students' trip.
And happy to be here this afternoon. Our school partners with Cities Alliance. We've launched an environmental club at our school.
That's right.
And so along those lines, we decided to come out and bring the kids out to do a field trip excursion based on the environment.
So after touring the facility, tell us a bit about your emotions, your impression about the facility.
Well, so we're here at Green Cities, and Mr. Mulba has been gracious enough to give us a tour, and I am extremely impressed. First, let me just say that Sabre Ed is a Christian international school, and just a little bit about us. We started as a home school, and we're now located in Kongatown, and we have a U.S.-based accredited curriculum. It's an online curriculum, so we're a little different from many schools because we incorporate technology into our classrooms. For example, our students from second grade and above all have access to laptop computers in the classroom.
That's good.
So for our upper level students, we decided to explore the theme of the environment this year, and particularly waste management. As I said, we're here at Green Cities and excited to be here, impressed, extremely impressed with all that they're doing. And I believe the students have learned so much because we just visited the transfer station in Fiamma. And so they were all talking about just the possibilities that exist in terms of what to do with waste, because all the waste is just basically sent from there to a landfill. But here, Green Cities is actually doing some of what they had discussed at the site just now. So we see that he's recycling and using plastic to come up with different end products. So I'm extremely impressed, and I know they're impressed as well and excited. Well, I think it's really a personal message. It's a message that everybody can do something, and it starts at home. So I think for them, they've learned that they can be ambassadors even at home. And let their families know that waste should be sorted and what to do with waste and what can be done so that the waste doesn't end up polluting the entire environment. So that's the first step for them. And I think even on a broader level, I mean, not only can they take it to their families and their communities, but then they can also aspire to do what he's done, because he's told us his story and how this all came about. So I think for them it sort of it broadens their horizon, so they can think, wow, this is something that I can do in the future. If I'm concerned about something, then I don't just have to sit and complain about it. I can actually do something about it, which is what they're doing here at Green Cities. So we really appreciate that.
So finally, before we take leave of you, is there any other thing that maybe you would like to say that we did ask?
Well, I think we've covered it all. And as I said, I'm very happy to be talking with you all, and we're excited to be here. And I think it's all about really starting with the young people. And because if you get them, then they can in turn influence adults. So that's what we're doing, and getting them excited about being involved in the community, not just seeing things and complaining and walking away and doing nothing, but that they can actually impact their communities.
Green Cities Incorporated production manager Shek Ducle described waste as a fascinating business.
I feel happy when I'm doing this work because this is we are adding value to waste. That is, we use the plastic material and then we produce different kinds of products that will be used for the Liberian on the Liberian market also. I advise every Liberian that we should not throw the plastic away. The plastic has value. That is, you should not put the plastic in the dirt, we mix it up with sand. Just if you have the plastic, keep it aside, you use it and produce another thing with it that will be used also on the market. After we put the mixing from there, we'll put it in the thing here, and then we start the machine. And we start the machine, we put it auto, which is here. You press here, you can auto, semi-auto. And then when the injector is out there, you turn it back again, turn the injector back. Okay. Then you put it on auto. You put it on semi-auto, you press there, and you close the door. Then the door will come, and then the injector will go. When the injector goes, you spray.
Still to come on this program is a one-on-one chat with the CEO of the Green Cities Incorporated, Mr. James Smallba. He will provide more insight on waste management. We will be right back. Keep watching.
Can we save the air from global warming, climate change, sea erosion, waste pollution, and other environmental problems? Join Ellen TV for answers to these questions on the program Focus on the Environment with Rachel Colley.
Welcome back. For our one-on-one discussion, we have with us the Chief Executive Officer for Green Cities Incorporated, Mr. James Mulva. Welcome to this interview.
Thank you very much. I highly appreciate the invitation, and I appreciate your time taken to actually understand how Green Cities works.
So that was my question, my next question. How is Green City and how does it work?
Green Cities is actually a youth-based social enterprise that came into existence around 2013, and we run as a legal business, a social venture in 2014. So we focus on adding value to waste. Because sometime back there was this research done by Partner, and it was proving like around 43 to 44% of our waste were organic. That is waste that can get rotten. And then we have like 13 to 14% to be plastic. And then we have others to be like glass to be like 10%, and then the rest to be other waste. So from that background, we decided to come in as a social venture, especially from the point of value proposition, to focus on adding value to waste instead of just disposing waste. Because there are a lot of companies that are actually doing waste collection, but then everyone is disposing everything at the going town landfill. So our approach was like, okay, can we try to like recycle? Can we add value? So from that background, we actually established Green Cities to focus on recycling organic waste, plastic, and electronic waste.
So that is reuse, reduce, recycle. That is your motive.
Yes, including refurbish, because we do a 4 array instead of the 3 arrays. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, when you say transforming or turning waste into, because a recycled waste, what are some of those things that you are actually generating from waste?
Yeah, like we handle plastic, right? And our plastic recycling process goes through 2 stages. We have what we call the mechanical recycling of plastic, and that form of recycling focuses on turning plastic to another plastic product, like getting the water sachet, getting the other plastic waste, and then crushing them, turning them to a pallet, and then producing end product like geometry set for schools, like the rubber cup for rubber farmers, the latex cup collection. And then we also produce other things, especially from the mechanical end. And then the leftover plastic go through a process called chemical recycling, where the plastic is being turned to in a process called pyrolysis. We transform plastic waste into a petroleum product, like diesel, gasoline, and sometimes kerosene. So that's what we do with plastic waste. And then on the other end, we handle electronic waste, and that is done through 2 forms: refurbishing and then recycling. So for the refurbishing portion of electronics, sometimes you buy a computer, maybe like for $500, and then all of a sudden maybe the computer has depreciated to the point that maybe you were able to buy a new computer, and now you decide to like give this computer up, but it has some manual problem that can be solved. So we actually take those computers, solve the problem on your computer, and then it's being sold out to someone who cannot afford to pay for a $500 computer, at least for something like $100 or $120. Even as low as $75 to $60. Yeah, we do that with refurbishing and across all other forms of electronics. It could be the fan, it could be torchlight, it could be solar panel, it could be solar battery, all of them, all electronic waste. And then the ones that actually can no longer be used for refurbishing, we dismantle them and packaging, and we have a partnership with a team from Dubai and other places in Holland that we actually packaging to be able to ship over to them for end of recycling process. That is what we do with electronic waste. Now for organic waste, we focus on composting. That is turning the organic waste to fertilizer that farmers can use. Because the cost of chemical fertilizer is high. Like you sell a chemical fertilizer for like, especially NPK 1515, it's sold for almost 40 to $50 per day. And we're producing organic fertilizer on a low scale currently, but we're trying to increase the production that we can at least start producing like 50 ton or 5,000 ton per year. And that would actually take us in selling organic fertilizer for like $10 for 50 kg. So you can see the disparity. it means that our farmers can definitely save up to $40, right? From 50 to 10, it means that they can save up to $40. And then we hoping to do that, and that is something we started already, but it's about scaling up to meet up the demand that actually the market needs. And then another thing we add into that is what we call the black sodium fly technology, where we use the organic way to produce animal feed, especially use the larva of the sodium fly, the black sodium fly to produce animal feed, especially for animal farms. Yeah, so those are the major 3 things that we do with waste. We're hoping to expand into paper, glass, and other things, but we cannot do all at the same time. We have to start one at a time because we don't have the resources to do everything. We have the technical know-how to do everything, but we don't have the resources to do everything.
So, technically, your power generation, what do you use as energy to be able to carry on all of?
Yeah, we actually using generator because the Liberia Electricity Corporation system is a complicated one. That which we have tried, we were able to get a transformer that we have to refurbish on our own, but then we brought it, the community attacked us and said it was for the community. In fact, LEC is the one that can give transformer, and at the end of the day, yeah, we have to bring in generator to use. So it's very, very expensive for us, especially using generator that we have to fuel our machine all of the time.
So the fuel that you use or the petroleum that you use into your generator, is it what you produce?
Yeah, what we produce, we use it at time because the demand is actually high for us. And currently we are producing on a very low scale because we have a local reactor that we produce locally. And once we have we did a design of a modern machine that we actually intend to bring in that will produce like almost 200 gallons of fuel per day. So that will actually enhance our production. It means that we reduce our cost for electricity because we'll be able to use most of our products, and then we can also sell some out to others.
So, interestingly, waste management, you are all into it, but looking at the environment, there are people still just putting the waste, put organic waste or plastic waste and just mix the waste up and just dump it anywhere, any part of the street. How is it like for you who are into managing your waste?
Yeah, it's a complicated one. It's something that I think is a compound complex problem. And it's something that really we find it difficult because we get our raw materials from scavengers and also community-based enterprises and also from some waste management company, our colleagues in the waste collection sector. We also get some of our materials from them. We also get some from youth groups that actually understand. But I think when it comes to the issue of waste in everywhere in the community, it's something that requires national attention. It calls for national engagement. It calls for stakeholder engagement.
Sure.
It calls for defined policy to be able to clearly define where we intend to go as a nation. It calls for us to carry on a lot of messages, awareness, to educate our people on the importance of properly managing our waste. Because prior to the coming in, I can say this and always say it, right? Sometimes donor support and sometimes they are not blessing for us at certain time. Yeah, I can say this, right? Sometimes donor support brings problem to us.
Sure.
And I can say this, prior to the coming in of the World Bank support that started under the EMOS project, people were not putting garbage in the street. But then when the project started, when Zoomlion came, because they wanted to collect more waste, because it was a performance-based contract, and they told people to bring the garbage in the street, we'll keep the garbage in the street, just bring it outside, we'll take it. And people started lining garbage up in the street. And that actually led to people bringing garbage in the main street. And for every time they brought the garbage in the main street, Zoomlion and other partners would clear it. So that culture got used to our people. The moment donor partners stopped giving the necessary support that we needed, there is no way we can stop the people from bringing the garbage in the street. To the extent of people taking garbage to the marketplace, that food is coming from to go in the home. That's the extent that we have gone. And I think we need to go back on the drawing table, have all stakeholders involved, and try to change the status quo. Because another thing is, we have to be careful with donor support, right? We have to tell donor partners exactly what we think is good for us. We can't have the city of Morovia, the city of Painesville, putting garbage bins in the main street. So it means that you're telling people to bring their garbage in the street. We should get rid of all of those bins. People should keep their garbage home, work with a community-based enterprise to be able to manage their waste. Why would international partners be the one to pay for the damage that we're causing? We're creating problems. Our environment is not good. But then you take tax, you allow the people to use taxpayer money in other countries to come and clean your environment, while at the same time you're creating garbage. So I think we need to graduate from this donor-driven mindset and come together as key stakeholders and see how we can find local solution. And the local solution is we need to come together and then define exactly where we intend to go. Like for example, the water sachet, the cold water plastic that we have around here, is actually helping. Like the triple bundle effect, right? The cold water plastic prior to it coming, people were drinking from a big bay. Now there was increasing cholera. According to the health ministry, they have been dropped in cholera now because of the purification of water that people are now drinking. That's good. But then do we know the problem that the plastic is causing also? So it's like we are solving one problem and creating another problem. So we think water companies need to start paying certain incentive, that is, it should be added on the water. Like you have 30 bags in a sack, right? If we can say, okay, of that 30 bags, if a water company produce any quantity, one of that 30 bags towards recycling of plastic waste, we should have $10 added to that bag. Now that $10 going to an ESCO account. Now it can be shared among city authorities to work with recyclers or waste management companies for them to be able to have plastic collected and be able to handle it. I think with that, we can nationally solve some of our problems and be able to really, really move forward as a nation. But if we always think on donor support, what can we get from World Bank, what can we get from EU, what can we get from the United States government, I think we are not really being serious here as a nation. Or else our waste will always be around and we will always get sick and we will not have a long lifespan in our country.
And the plastic waste, it's so much to the point that even when you go to the market to buy, you buy $25 leather board, they'll give you another plastic.
Yes.
You buy. So what can you tell those who are producing plastic?
I think one thing we have to do is we cannot, one thing that I found very difficult, looking at our country as an underdeveloped country, we cannot get rid of plastic, right? But we can minimize plastic. Okay, that is, we put in a mechanism, right? That we increase the price for plastic bags.
Yeah, okay.
So if you buy one plastic bag, you go and keep it and bring it the next time the market to buy. Reuse, right? And then we can help to actually reduce the amount of plastic. Now, two, if you are to buy 10 plastic because of the cost, you would definitely want to buy 4 or 5, and you want to bring them back. So you have to reduce the amount of plastic that will be produced and going in the street. So I think we need to put, that's one thing we need to put into place. Another thing we need to put into place is to clearly make waste management as a real business. It should be a serious business. And to be a serious business, it requires stakeholders, actually, national government, defining it as a real business. Or else we in the private sector will keep struggling. And our impact will not be enough to actually solve the problems around us.
Because this issue of plastic is not just maybe ending up in the street or in the garbage, but it's even affecting the marine life. Because when they bring in, they dump in the drainage, and then it just goes into the river and the tree, the ocean everywhere is.
Yeah, so that's why it's really, really dangerous. But then we have the solution. We have the solution to zero waste, especially plastic.
So, do you think Labrador can actually migrate to zero waste?
We can achieve that. Looking at our population, we can achieve that. And Green Cities can actually achieve that with
Green Cities is just one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, just with our involvement, we just need the necessary capacity. That's all. If we have the necessary capacity, our waste is not much that we cannot manage. We have bigger countries than Nigeria with over almost 200 plus million population. So our population is just around 4 to 5. If I'm not mistaken, we're going around 6. So it's easy to manage the waste produced in Nigeria. Yeah.
So it's easy to manage the waste. So before I take leave of you, Mr. Mulva, it's there any other thing maybe that you would like to add that
Yeah,
you did not ask?
the last thing I would like to say is we appreciate the support from LBS, especially taking all your time and then checking from us to know exactly what we're doing. I think this is something that is highly welcoming, and I think others should actually follow suit so that we all can work together. Because the more we speak out, the more we educate our people, the more people get to understand the importance of properly engaging or managing their waste. And another thing we'd like to say is at Green Cities, actually for us, we are not waiting for any support. We don't have any support from government, and we are not waiting for any support from government. We will keep doing what we are able to do. But at the end of the day, our focus is to be able to have a better environment for others. And we encourage everyone, like I said to the students, waste management is everybody's business, and we all should be involved in it. Like we are open, we purchase plastic waste, we purchase electronics, especially the ones that have a little better conditions, and the ones that don't use, actually we collect them and clear them out instead of them going out landfills. So we are open up to working with community-based enterprises, community youth groups and other institutions, so we all can be able to clean our cities. And we are also open up to national government, where we can be able to see the needs of promoting. All we need is the necessary promotion, similar to what you are part of the national government doing because you represent a state radio station.
Yeah,
so we highly appreciate everything.
Thank you, Mr. James Mulva.
Thanks very much, and I highly appreciate it.
He's Mr. James Mulva, Chief Executive Officer of the Green Cities Incorporated. He's been here providing sanitary information on waste management.
Well, that's it for today's edition of the program Focus on the Environment. Before we go, let's leave you with this favorite environmental quote from Mother Teresa, which says, "I only feel angry when I see waste, when I see people throwing away things we could use." I am Rachel Benway Cody. See you next time, and thanks for watching.